All right, so we'll jump into the next session. We want to really be concise and be straight to the point and keep to time even in this webinar. So we'll jump into the next session will be handled by Sheung. Sheung is our fulfillment national fulfillment manager in operations, and she'll be taking us through balancing stock levels for maximum profitability, mastering inventory. So Sheung, over to you, please.
Thank you, Edeo. Good morning again, everyone. Give me a minute to share my screen. All right, please confirm you can see my screen. Thank you. All right, so my name is Oluwaseun Ajayi. I am the supply chain lead at ShelfLife, and I will be taking us through how we can master our inventory by balancing our stock levels or our inventory levels for maximum profitability in our businesses. So a critical challenge that many pharmacy businesses, pharmacy owners, drugstore owners face is, balancing inventory or balancing stock levels. In doing this, we understand that inventory is not just about, profitability, but it's also about saving lives. So it's very important that we get a very good balance. So, we are, doing both. We are profitable and we are also, saving lives as well. So I'll be taking us through the key points for this. So this is the outline of what I'll be presenting today. First, I'll be talking about inventory management and what the goals of inventory management should be, challenges we face in pharma inventory management, strategies for optimization, technology integration, and then I would dive into profitability, understanding profitability, cost management, challenges to profitability, and then strategies to boost profitability. We would now take capital efficiency metrics we should be keeping an eye on, and reducing expiry risk, which would now end with question and answer. So I'll be breezing through my slides. So just a brief introduction. The average pharmacy would tie up to 70% of their cash, their operating cash, their operating budget in inventory. And the idea is, we face situations where we are either overstocking, overstocking non-essentials, or understocking, that's stocking out of critical medication. So we should find a balance. There should be a balance. And if there's no balance, there will be a disconnect. And this disconnect would affect both your bottom line, that's your profit, and also impacts, your patient care and, your business service levels. So inventory management, effective inventory management is very important. In fact, it's the most important part of your business operations. And one thing you should also, have at the back of your mind is using Pareto principle to identify, your top movers that drive your revenue from your inventory. So 20% of your inventory that contributes to 80% of your revenue. Many of us would have an idea of, the products that drive most of our revenue, the fast movers, like the expensive products that, drive most of our revenue. Let's, have that in mind, because we'll be drilling down, on this a lot. Then also, your inventory management policy is very important. You should typically have a policy for stock you receive from your suppliers, just to ensure that you are not, stocking products and then they end up expiring, on you. So you should have a policy for that. And then also, there's what we call just-in-time procurement, which reduces, holding costs and increases inventory turnover. And there are some products that you should be procuring on this just-in-time basis. I'll be throwing more light on that in this presentation. Okay, so if you're either running, a small business, a small pharmacy business, or you are managing more than one location, you have more than one branch, I would want you to take some very vital things from, this presentation. And, these tools are very practical to transform your business and transform your inventory from, just being liability or low performing to, high performing and being a strategic asset for you. So first, we'll be focusing on how you can optimize your inventory levels while maintaining, the best patient care possible. How you can reduce carrying costs without, compromising on quality.
Okay, that's
how you can predict and respond to, demand fluctuations. We have fluctuations in demand, from a number of reasons. It could be like probably change in the weather, seasonality, something happens and, there's fluctuations. That is totally unavoidable. So how do you predict and respond to those fluctuations? And then lastly, expiry management, very important. So what is inventory? Inventory is, a current asset that a business acquires for the purpose of resale, and it should serve as a buffer between the time that you order new items and when they are available for sale. So what you put on your shelf, that's inventory, and it allows for continuous product flow. As you are selling, you are replacing, and you are placing orders back to your supplier. So it's a flow, the way water flows is a flow. Then what is inventory management? It's just the method we use to organize, store and replace our inventory to minimize costs and ensure that we are not stocking out. So there are 3 costs that are associated with inventory. The first are ordering costs. That's what it costs you to order from your suppliers. Ordering costs could be even the time you spend in your supplier's place picking products, because time can also be translated to some form of cost. It could be the transportation costs to bring the products to you. It could even be the opportunity cost of you being somewhere else and your attention is being needed in your pharmacy. So stock holding cost is also what it costs to put a product on your shelf. That would boil down to rents. It will even boil down to how much you pay your staff, the particular, you can sort of eat per product, and also the cost of buying the product itself, how much you put into. That's also stock holding cost. Please, could we all ensure that our mics are muted so we don't get distracted? Then the third cost associated with inventory management is stock out cost, which is loss of sales. So what happens when a customer comes to your location and you are unable to provide the product they want? They would leave. First, you are missing that sale, and also in terms of trust, will that customer want to come back to you to get another medication another time? That is a cost associated with managing inventory. So what are the goals of inventory management? The goal of inventory management is to optimize inventory levels, so you have just the right amount of stock to meet customers' needs, while ensuring that your location or your pharmacy is not, you're not over investing. So you would agree with me at this point that it's not a one size fits all. You can't have the same approach for each product you have on your shelf. Some products are, fast moving, they are cheaper. Some are, mid movers. They might be cheaper, they might be more expensive, and some are just slow movers or even, non-movers at all. So strategy for these different classification or categories of products, should be different. So these are some of the challenges for inventory management. First, we have temperature-sensitive medication that will require special storage, like fridges, cold boxes, and the likes. We have controlled substances with, strict regulatory requirements, which you're supposed to either put in your poison box, or you have your way of the standard way of storing those products. Then also variations in demand. We have flu season, we have malaria season, and all that. So these are some of the challenges for inventory management. So I'll be taking us quickly through the strategy for inventory management, which will start from demand planning. And then from demand planning, we would go on to how you can optimize your inventory, then inventory control and tracking, and then lastly, technology, using technology to manage your inventory. So demand planning is just means prediction, forecasting. How do I know what I need to buy? That's demand planning. No matter how small your business is, you are doing demand planning one way or the other. Either you're using the sales, your sales history to, plan what you're going to purchase. You are making room for, seasonality. You are making room for, other factors that may affect, your demand. So it starts with data collection, when it comes to, get a product, a medication from you, or we have some patients that are on like monthly medication that, every month they would come and get it from you. We have like the recent COVID-19 pandemic where there were some products, that were doing more, doing better than others. We have health trends in some like demographics, like for example, the waterlogged areas would have some certain types of, diseases that would need, some products to be stocked for. So after collecting your demand, you would then adjust based on some of these factors and then create your supply plan, which is what you now take, to your supplier or you order for. So inventory management basically entails, the strategy you put in place to ensure that your demand is accurate and you are not stocking excess, you are not having excess stock, you are reducing excess stock, you are improving your cash flow, you're not tying down cash on some products that are not moving, and then the ones that are moving faster, you maybe you purchase them on demand. You're not doing that. And then you're also responding to your changes in your demand as well, as quickly as possible. So we have some optimization techniques I'll be running through. The first is the ABC analysis for pharmaceuticals. ABC analysis is you are splitting your products into 3 different categories. Category A, they are the fast movers. Category B are what we call the mid movers. So they are not fast, they are not slow, they are just mid. And then category C are, the slow movers or the non-movers. So what strategy would you deploy for, those categories? You know that for the fast movers, you should ensure that you have, enough buffer, and especially if they are critical medication, there should be buffer stock. Buffer means extra stock. So even if in a month you average 500 packs of, let me use paracetamol for example, you average 500 packs, you should have at least 500 packs and buffer, so additional stock of some certain percentage to ensure that, even if the 500 packs run out, before you restock from your supplier, you still have some stock, that you are still, selling out to clients. Then also you should classify your inventory either as a critical item or non-critical. So critical item, meaning that, okay, for products that have just maybe one brand, that, okay, if you don't stock this particular brand, there are no alternatives. And then for products that maybe you have other generic substitutes you could, push to clients, so they might not be as critical as the ones that are just one market authorization holder, and then we also have, just-in-time procurement for slower moving items. You don't want to, invest all your cash on a product that is slow moving, that you typically sell maybe 1 or 2 units, maybe every other month, and you would stock maybe 10 or 20 packs of that product on your shelf. At some point, the products will become obsolete. You might not be able to sell everything down before it expires, And then also you should apply seasonality to your planning strategy or what you are taking to your supplier. So if it's a season of maybe Harmattan, you should know that the asthma medication you are, you are adjusting your demand for it to cater for more people that will come to get the product.